Hello, my name is Debbie O'Leary. I'm the Transportation Planner and Interim Transportation Services Manager, presenting on behalf of Michael Wolf, the Public Works Director, for an update on the bicycle and pedestrian improvements. The city prioritizes bike and ped improvements by utilizing industry standard components. They include engineering, education, enforcement, which is with the Oxnard Police Department. And Public Works uses multiple methods for the engineering and education component. That includes programs and infrastructure, standalone projects, integrating projects into the CIP, and operational improvements such as signs and striping and signal controls. For some history, modern roadways were focused on vehicle volume and level of service. The original plans in the city included minimum pedestrian and no bicycle facilities. Oxnard Street with right-of-way was set with the old general plan designations. And the statewide complete street designations began in 2008 when Assembly Bill 1358 required pedestrian and bicycle inclusion as part of substantial revisions to the general plan circulation elements. However, due to the modern roadway design, it's been difficult to add pedestrian and bicycle improvements into the existing right-of-way on our streets. There are some statistics about the bicycle and pedestrian collisions, that it's not just in Oxnard. Now, there's been an increase in use in California. We are the 7th highest bike commuters of all of the states in the country. And there's been a 61 increase of bicycle commuters from the beginning of 2000 all the way to 2019. The national collision information shows that in 2020, there was a total of 6,516 fatal pedestrian collisions. And that's up from 6,272 in 2019. There were alcohol involved, included 47% of the fatal pedestrian collisions, and 23 were a hit and run. In 2020, there were 938 fatal bicycle collisions, and that's up from 859 in 2019. And alcohol was involved in 34% of those fatal bike collisions. And as part of the continued efforts here in the city, in 2023, the City Council adopted 2 new transportation planning documents, the Local Roadway Safety Plan, we call that the LRSP, and the Sustainable Transportation Plan, the STP. The LRSP specifically is the city's guiding document that identifies the contributing factors to collisions and provides solutions to reduce or eliminate traffic collisions. The LRSP is best viewed online. It has embedded links where you can look up information such as maps and statistical data, and it has a number of countermeasure toolboxes. In Chapter 4 of the LRSP, it provides the data and explanations about which factors are causing fatal bicycle and pedestrian collisions in Oxnard. Now, this data is a critical tool to understand where the problem is originating. And it's due to, first of all, unsafe speed. Second, are pedestrian violations, perhaps where people are not crossing in a crosswalk. The third reason is for driving under the influence, DUI. And the fourth is for vehicle violations, vehicles that are not yielding during left turns or U-turns, or for oncoming traffic, or not adhering to stop signs. Now, while some behavioral choices, such as DUI, can't be eliminated through engineering improvements, the LRSP in Chapter 6 still provides paths to improve the decision-making aspect of collisions with educational options. The Oxnard Police Department and Public Works are already working on a number of those suggestions from the LRSP, and they include some programs for DUI called Know Your Limit and Choose Your Ride. The Oxnard Police Department is working on those. There's an education component that Public Works has been working on for the past year and has 3 more years to go. We'll talk more about that later, and that's the Safe Routes to School program. Oxnard Police Department also hosts education events. And then there is awareness. The city has put up many speed feedback signs which alert drivers of their speed in real time and to slow down. The LRSP includes all of the education and program toolbox ideas. And if you go to that link, you'll be able to see pages that look like this, that have a number of information on them that talks about the areas of emphasis that any given program can use, how long that program could go on for, and then the effectiveness of what it can do. Beyond education, engineering can help reduce collisions. The LRSP includes many engineering tools, several of which are included on the following slides. And you'll see those in the LRSP on these, they look like cards. So you have straighten crosswalks, upgrade curb ramps, the separated bikeway, traffic calming, bicycle boulevard elements. You can see they're circled where we're identifying what types of crashes that perhaps a separated bikeway might be able to improve, like a pedestrian or a bicycle. There's tools such as advanced stop bars, bike lanes, and so on. And of the recommended tools, and those were just a few of them, those highlighted below in the next few slides are already part of our CIP projects. I'll just read off a few, and they include things like the advanced yield markings and the bike lanes, curb extensions. We implement the green conflict striping. You see the green bike striping, the rectangular rapid flashing beacons, and of course, upgrading curb ramps, just to name a few. We also implement improvements to our traffic signal system. And a lot of times we call that the intelligent transportation systems. And that can include emergency vehicle preemption for the fire department. We can extend the yellow and all red time. Of course, improve signal timing, protected left turns. And again, everything in yellow are things that we're already using in our CIP projects. Some other items listed here are under the control, geometric modifications that these engineering components can do, as well as lighting and operational or warning improvements, such as those speed monitoring feedback signs that I mentioned earlier. Also upgrading our intersection pavement markings, for instance. And the next few slides are showing some of the CIP projects that we have that have the bicycle, pedestrian, school, and those traffic signal safety improvements that are all part of reducing or eliminating bicycle and pedestrian collisions. Several of them are complete, such as the Ventura Boulevard sidewalk, which is from Rose Avenue to Balboa Street. We've done traffic signal modifications at 7 intersections citywide. Two projects are just starting construction in the coming months, and that's the Edding Road bicycle and pedestrian facilities installation, which is adjacent to 2 schools. The Oxnard Boulevard and Saviors Road signal improvements includes 5 intersections along those 2 roadways. And then a number of projects are in the design phase. They include the 4th Street mobility improvements, another citywide intersection improvements where we'll improve 10 intersections now. So we have the 7 that are complete, the 5 that are under construction, and there'll be 10 more to come. There are bicycle and pedestrian facilities that we're improving in the Northeast community. Oxnard Boulevard will be getting bicycle facilities. And as I mentioned earlier, the Safe Routes to School Safety and Enhancement Project. There's also a Ramona Preschool pedestrian crossing enhancement project. Now, the Safe Routes to School project, phase 1, includes grant funding for education and planning at 26 schools and infrastructure improvement at 5 schools. Now, to talk a little bit about the education and planning, this is a 2-year program. The first school year, which was 22-23, is complete, and the second year, this school year, is underway. To date, so far with this project, we've launched a specific web page. We've already reached out to over 6,000 students. There's 26 schools in the first program, and they have all been contacted. 20 of the 26 walk audits have been completed, where we visit each school to get an idea of what can be improved around the schools. We've held 17 virtual meetings where schools have attended those meetings. And 5 schools have participated in pedestrian assemblies and bike skills workshops. All the schools are encouraged to take part in our annual walk and bike to school days. And we also held a Safe Routes to School art contest, which will be brought into the future years. It's important to note that the grant provides for 10 assemblies and workshops, and that's 5 a year. So we've completed 5 in the first year, and we'll continue on for the next year. The box to the right has some information that you can also find on that website, which is oxnard.org/SRTS for Safe Routes to School. Building on the success of the grant-funded Safe Routes to School, which is our phase 1, the City Council provided American Rescue Act funding, which we call ARPA funding, for the phase 2 project, which will include the remaining 26 public schools in Oxnard. And that first year is underway with this school year. To date, we've been kicking that off with holding meetings with the district staff. The first of those 26 walk audits are kicking off this month. Virtual meetings with the schools will start to be scheduled during this fall, and those assemblies and bike workshops will be scheduled in 2024, starting in 2024, and we anticipate to also do 10 schools with this same setup as the phase 1 project. Here are just some images from our program, some of our Walk to School Day campaign art that we share with the schools where they can add their information. There's been social media, and you can see that we already have a great deal of participation from our students. So we're very excited about that. Public Works also handles routine operations, which improve, again, bicycle and pedestrian safety. And that includes programming our walk signals to prioritize the pedestrians before the vehicle movement starts. We refresh the crosswalks to high visibility. We refresh red curb for better visibility. The bike lane striping, we will repair guardrail, repair sidewalk, repair and install signage, and install those fixed speed feedback signs. Also coming soon, we have newly funded grant projects. We continue to apply for grant funding so that we can reach all parts of the city. And the first one for over $3 million is a citywide accessible pedestrian enhancement project, which will install ADA signal heads, curb ramps, again, some of that leading pedestrian signal timing, the crosswalks, shortening the distances, and also we're looking at doing pedestrian refuge areas to improve the crossing. And that's a citywide project. We have a project from Ventura Roadway, from 2nd to Woolley. This will install Class 2 bike lanes with the green marking, the crosswalks, advanced stop bar striping, to again keep vehicles a little further away from those crosswalks. And the retro-reflective signal heads, those are the signal heads with the yellow backing that you're seeing around town, and more with that project. The third project is on Bard Road from Saviors to Pleasant Valley, very similar in scope to the Ventura Road project as well. The Class 2 bike lanes, green marking, the crosswalks, the retro-reflective signal heads, and so on. We've also applied for grants that we are hoping to hear back that we will receive. We don't know yet. And those are the Oxnard Boulevard Channel Islands Interchange. And this is, we're requesting $2 million from Federal Highways to complete a study to retrofit the existing Channel Islands Bridge That's the connection over Oxnard Boulevard, the old State Route 1, to improve that bicycle and pedestrian connectivity from the neighborhoods that are east of Oxnard Boulevard. We have also applied for the fire department's, it's called M-Track signal priority system, where they're able to work with our intelligent signal system to give priority for those emergency vehicles. And that's important for our city. Our continued efforts, staff continue to analyze and pair the LRSP tools with locations and programs throughout the city. So we're trying to match everything in that LRSP with where we can put them in. Staff will then develop preliminary cost estimates to inform us if the improvements can be made through city forces or if grant funding needs to be sought for those high-cost CIP projects. And the education, engineering, enforcement efforts continue with the shared goal to prevent any future fatality. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.